Hi, this is Julia with German 365. Today we are on episode 23 and we talk about der Dativ. If you haven't watched episodes 20 through 22, please go back, watch those first, unless you have a good understanding already about the Nominativ and the Akkusativ. Alright, so let's talk about der Dativ. We can call der Dativ our third case or der dritte Fall. And it's used for the indirect object, which we can also call a receiver of an action. And it's in indirect relationship to the subject, and they're kind of connected via the direct object. So let's dive into the first masculine example. And the articles are dem and einem. So we have a woman here. Die Frau hat ein Hotdog. So die Frau is our subject, and ein Hotdog is our direct object, as we were talking about in the accusative case. But now we're going to add another indirect object to the whole situation. So we still have the woman with a hot dog, but now we have a dog as well. And in German, that's der Hund. So now we're giving the hot dog to the dog. So die Frau gibt dem Hund ein Hotdog. So die Frau is still the subject, and ein Hotdog is still the direct object. And now we have a receiver of the action, and that's the indirect object. Der Hund turns into dem Hund. So when we're asking for that, we would say, die Frau gibt wem oder was ein Hotdog? Dem Hund. Whom or what is she giving a hot dog? To the dog. The feminine example, we have the der or einer article. Here we have die Konditorin backt eine Torte. Die Konditorin being the subject and eine Torte being the direct object. But we throw in another object, the indirect object here, and we see that that's another woman, eine Frau or die Frau. And the pastry chef made the cake for this woman. So die Konditorin backt der Frau eine Torte. Die Konditorin remains as the subject, and eine Torte remains as the direct object, and der Frau becomes the indirect object. And we continue with the neuter, with the dem or einem, and we have a chicken, and the chicken lays an egg. So das Huhn legt ein Ei. Das Huhn being our subject, and the egg being our direct object, the thing that it lays. But then comes the goose, die Gans auf Deutsch, and it steals the egg. So die Gans klaut dem Huhn das Ei. So now die Gans becomes the subject, and das Ei remains the direct object, and dem Huhn is the indirect object. So we can ask the question, wem oder was klaut die Gans das Ei? Whom or what does she steal the egg from? So dem Huhn. Last, we have an example for the plural, and the articles are den or keinen. Since we don't have the indefinite, we have the negated version. Der Bauer mistet den Stall aus. So subject is der Bauer, and den Stall is the direct object. So he's cleaning out the stable. So we're adding in the animals, die Tiere. So that's who he is doing that for. So der Bauer mistet den Tieren den Stall aus. So the subject is still the Bauer, and then our direct object is still der Stall, in this case direct object den Stall, and then den Tieren the indirect object. Also, some plural nouns will take an extra N ending, as we see here. Wem oder was mistet der Bauer den Stall aus? Den Tieren. So let's look at the table again. That's becoming more and more filled out here. So we have the nominative, der, die, das, and die, no problem. And then the only change in the accusative was the ein to the einen or the der to the den. But now with the dative, we have even more changes coming up. Now you know all about the dative, and you should know all about the accusative and the nominative. In the next episode, we'll talk about the genitive. So keep watching, and if you found this helpful, of course, always like my videos and subscribe to my channel, and I see you in the future. Thanks a lot.